Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great day. So I want this video to be a little bit different from the normal videos that I create because I want to just have a sit down and candid, almost chat with you about a topic that I feel quite strongly about, which is my experience with my fear of judgment. And I feel like judgment is something that we all experience across our lives. And from this, we can develop a fear of judgment. And I definitely have this fear. Fear of judgment has impacted my life in so many different aspects, but I thought the aspect that I most wanted to share with you was how that fear of judgment almost completely stopped the creation of this YouTube channel altogether. So I hope you find value in this. I hope you enjoy this video, and we'll just jump straight into it. So I shared my first video on this channel in November 2018, last year. But I came up with the idea of Cave Girl and knew that I really wanted to do it in January 2017. And what held me back for almost 2 years was that fear of judgment. And I only actually started telling people outside of my family about Cave Girl in late 2017. And the reason that I didn't do this was because I'm naturally an introvert and I don't like having the attention on myself. And so I tend to be a really good listener. I much prefer to listen to people talk about themselves rather than volunteer information about myself. And at this time in my life, I was so lucky because I was surrounded by so many loving, caring people that really did care about me. But we were also really different. We shared vastly different beliefs and values, which was fine until it came to Cave Girl, because while it was so uniquely me, it really differed from some of the closest people in my life's values or just interests, I suppose. So I already had that feeling that I was different from my friends, and I was just terrified that if I told them about Cave Girl that I would be a complete outcast. I was so sure that they would laugh in my face, tell me that it was a stupid idea and that it wasn't going to work. So I let that fear of that potential judgment stop me for almost 2 years. So this fear of judgment completely controlled me. It made me feel stupid for even wanting to have a YouTube channel. And it made me feel like if I put what I wanted out there and let people know that this is what I wanted, that they wouldn't accept that and then I wouldn't belong anymore. And the only reason that I stepped so far out of my comfort zone and started to share it with some close people in my life was because it was so much harder for me to keep it just to myself and to not let that part of me out than it was to, allow myself to be scared and take that leap of faith. It just got to a point where I felt this pull and I just couldn't hold myself back anymore. So I started letting people in and sharing what felt like my soul to them. And for some reason, I'm still so amazed by how supportive everyone was. I don't know why. I think it's just again, all in my head with the fear of judgment. But because they cared about me, of course they're going to care about whatever I cared about. And so they didn't have to be interested in the exact things that I was interested in, but they did care about me. And even after I started letting people in, I still had this immense fear of being judged. Whenever someone would come up to me and want to talk about Cave Girl, or even just casually mention it in conversation, I would just completely shut down and not want to talk about it. I would brush over the topic as if it was nothing, or ridicule myself for some reason, and just quickly move on to the next topic as quickly as I could. I was still scared of what I was going to say and then what people would think of me, and I was just embarrassed about the whole thing. So I just never really talked about it. And the reason that I'm sharing this video now is because it's actually only been the last few videos where I haven't really felt this fear, because deep down I know that Cave Girl is something that I needed to do because it's something that I really wanted to do. And once I realized this, I knew that I really needed to just try and tackle this fear so it wouldn't continue to hold me back in this way and then in other aspects of my life as well. The first thing I realized was that this is something that I really, really wanted to do, and I therefore owed myself to do that. It was gonna hurt me so much more if I didn't do it than dealing with the fear that I created in my head if I did do it. And all these fears that I created in my head about being judged and what people would think of me, 99% of those things never came true and will never come true. It's all just in my head. And my parents used to tell me that often, if I'm worried about being judged by someone, chances are that person is too busy to judge me because they're worried about me judging them. And this didn't click within me until I put myself in my friend's shoes and thought, okay, what if they came to me saying they wanted to create a YouTube channel? How would I react? And I would never judge them. I would only support them. And if I were gonna judge them, then maybe I shouldn't be that close of a friend to that person. You know, I would never wanna stop someone doing what they really wanna do. I would only think of supporting them. And realizing this helped me so much, even if it took me 1.5 years to realize it. To me, my fear of judgment came from being stuck in my own head and overthinking everything. And by putting myself in someone else's shoes, really just got me out of my own head and was able to give me some really clear perspective on everything. And I'd really love to say that these techniques and these different thought processes that I'm sharing with you now made me overcome this fear of judgment. But as I said at the start, I want this to be a really candid and open video with you. And unfortunately, I just honestly can't say that. I definitely still struggle with this fear of judgment, and probably less so with this YouTube channel now because I feel very confident and comfortable in my decision, and I am really enjoying creating and sharing this content with you. But other aspects of my life are still quite tainted by this fear. You know, for example, I still don't really like to talk about my career choices because I feel like I'm taking a very different path to what those around expect of me. And I'm scared of being judged, so I kind of just say, oh, I'm not really sure, even though deep down, I know what I want to do, and I have for a while. And for the past few months, I have been really loving rock climbing and bouldering, but this fear of judgment has been getting in the way of bouldering, especially because I am terrified of climbing in front of people, especially those who are better than me, which is most of the people there. And I don't know, I don't want to mess the climb up, or I don't want to embarrass myself in front of them. So sometimes I go in there with the intention to climb all of these new routes, and then I'll just end up sitting there because I am just paralyzed by this fear, which really honestly just sucks. And I do think it'll be a while before I can overcome this fear completely and live my life without this fear of being judged. But I do think that I'm taking steps in the right direction. You know, even making this video, I could be very judged for making this video. I don't know, but I feel like it's a good step in the right direction. And same with every time I walk into the climbing gym and get up and start bouldering. It's a step in the right direction, and it's facing that fear of being judged and slowly overcoming it. Okay, so that wraps this video up. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you resonate with anything that I've said, I hope that you can just take those small steps like me to slowly take back control of our fear of judgment, and that one day, I don't know, we can live our lives without this fear of being judged. I upload new videos every Thursday, and I really can't wait to see you on the next one. Bye!